Hello and welcome to This is Kadikai podcast. Today I'll be your host, Dominlu, and I'm joined by Yukis, also known as Eugenio. How are you doing today, Eugenio?
As good as I can be after yesterday's loss. So I'm doing good, but still a bit sad about yesterday's game.
Yeah. I think we're all a bit like that. It's sort of a match I just kind of thought we were going to win. I couldn't really imagine us losing it, and then we did, so it's just even worse. I wasn't even prepared.
Yeah. The performance was so poor. Galatasaray actually deserved their win.
Yeah, they did play like they were fighting for it, like more. So it's whereas we were kind of uninspired, really. So, what are your general thoughts on the game? Can you sum up for me?
From the beginning, we could already see that Galatasaray were much more ready for this match, and they were more hungry. They started attacking from the flanks, and they had lots of good opportunities in the first 20 minutes. And we were playing really slowly. We really couldn't threat the Galatasaray defense and goalie at all. So I don't know. It was a bad game overall.
Yeah. What do you think about Pereira? His substitutions he made during the match. Do you think they were the right ones? I mean, I know a lot of people were sort of angry about them, but what were your thoughts?
I don't know. The substitutions were fine for me. You know, I thought that this is the game for Fernandao anyways. You know, he's the player who always plays with his heart, and I thought that this is cup final, so we need some spirit in the field. But I would have taken maybe Gökhan earlier on because he was really good in the end when he came on. And, I wouldn't blame the substitutions, but the game plan was bad.
Yeah, I mean, most people are critical of Fernandao, but he's a good player. He hasn't been playing much recently, but as you said, he plays well in the big games, really. He's a good guy, and he wants to play for Fenerbahçe, really. You can see that, and he's scored a lot of goals this year. You can't really argue that he's not done well because of that. And the game plan, as you said, it just wasn't really right. So, do you think Fenerbahçe are going to sack Pereira, and do you think this would be the right thing to do after yesterday's match?
I saw that Fener tweeted that Aziz Yildirim said that Pereira still have 1 year left, so he's gonna stay. So I don't know. Probably he will stay if Aziz Yildirim says so. Then he will stay. After yesterday's performance, I'm not too sure anymore. But yet, if we don't have any money to sign any better coach, I don't see any point to sack him.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking on Twitter during the game yesterday, and I saw that whilst a lot of Fenerbahçe fans were being critical, I think I saw other fans, maybe neutrals or Beşiktaş fans and Galatasaray fans, they were saying Pereira's actually doing quite well, and I'm pretty sure they weren't being sarcastic. So I think obviously it was a very bad result for us, and we kind of feel, it's like a nightmare for us, kind of end of the world almost, but other fans maybe are being a bit more rational than us. So, what about new players and who should we get rid of? I think most people definitely want Josef de Souza to leave the club. And what about you?
I wouldn't want to see him leaving. I still think that if we only have one good attacking midfielder, creative one, then we could easily use two defensive midfielders. And Topal and Josef are really good together in that department, defending. And so I think we would need one central attacking midfielder who could be, for example, if we need cheaper one, could be, for example, Atif from Sivas.
Yeah.
Because when they got relegated, and I saw him crying for Sivas, I thought, these kind of players, I want to play for Fenerbahçe.
Yeah,
really feel for the club.
Yeah,
and wants to play for the club.
Yeah, it's kind of what most fans sort of dream of. I mean, I personally think with Josef, I think it's annoying that we spent so much on him. I think about 8 million euros, and I think he's a good guy. I think he likes playing for Fenerbahçe. As, he's one of those kind of players. I just think maybe I'd rather see him, but just not with Mehmet Topal, because they just play so kind of similarly. And Mehmet Topal's a very good player, and so it just kind of makes Souza look a bit worse because he's doing the same things, but he's not doing them as well. I think maybe I'd like to see him stay, but sort of make. You don't really see Mehmet Topal miss a game, but maybe just kind of stay as more of a sub. Rather than always playing with him. I'd rather we signed a different sort of midfielder, like sort of box to box, who plays a bit differently, but still offers sort of both defensive and attacking. A bit like Steven Appiah.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, that would be perfect. But in this financial situation, I'm not sure. Can we really get too many good players?
Yeah.
And most of times, in Europe, I think it's really good plan to have those two defensive midfielders, especially against tougher opponents.
Yeah.
If we have this one good attacking midfielder, but in the league we could play more positive most of times. We could have two more attacking midfielders and then one defensive, Topal or Josef. Hopefully we can keep Topal, because I'm not sure if we haven't yet offered him a contract. And today I saw that Gökhan to Besiktas is already quite clear. So Gökhan might leave us for Besiktas because we haven't offered him any contract.
I also saw that sort of news, and it's just something you just don't really want to see. Like, Gökhan Gönül has been at Fenerbahçe for so long. I just find it quite hard to think for him to go to Besiktas. It's just not something you want to imagine happening, and it could. Well, people are saying it's. I don't really know what's going through anyone's head in the club if they're thinking, let's get rid of let's let him just leave. He's like the best right back in Turkey, and I wouldn't mind him going abroad because he's so good. I think he can show the rest of Europe will finally kind of see how good he is. If he went to, I remember there was rumours saying Benfica wanted him, and I think I'd be sad to see him go, but I'd get over it. But I think him just going to Besiktas is just not nice to. Definitely, I don't want it to happen. I hope we just offer him a new contract and he accepts that, because it's not really too much of a change. All he's doing is kind of like a sideways move. And but so what about kind of like Van Persie and Nani? Obviously, they're kind of criticised quite often. Do you want to see them go in the summer? Like maybe if we sell them, we can get a lot of money. Say they went to China.
At this moment, yes, I would sell them. I would really sell. You asked if I would sell Robin Van Persie and Nani.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this moment, I would.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
because we need money, and I would rather have now players with less name, more passion.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of good players in Super League as well who really would like to play for us and would do a good job. It's like I said, Atif, and then Edin Viska had an amazing season with Başakşehir, and he would run to us if we just called him. He would definitely come to us. And I don't know if we want, we could probably get Rodalega quite cheaply. And he showed this year that he can score goals, and he's still quite quick, which I was surprised. He's quicker than most of the defenders. Smart player as well. There are many good players in Super League we could go after and sell the high earners.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think quite a lot of the time, I kind of strangely get more kind of excited about when we buy a Turkish player or a player from the Super League. Like, I think I was more kind of, interested in Şener Özbayraklı than Van Persie joining, which kind of... But it's just because I know that I kind of know they can play well and they're going to be a bit sort of humble, and you kind of know they're joining because they want to play for the big team in the league, like as opposed to someone like Van Persie. Obviously, he was at Manchester United, so it was kind of and we offered him a lot of money to come here, so it's. Yeah, you just, as we've been saying throughout this podcast, really, you just want to see players who want to play for the team. What do you make of Bruno Alves getting a new contract? Is this a good, wise move from the club to extend it by a year, or what do you say?
Well, he was quite good this year. If we just look at his performances, he was quite good this year, and they have good partnership with Simon Kjaer. Like it seems that Simon has good partnership with every single defender. He makes every defender look good, but I'm not quite sure how good teammate he is. Probably quite okay as well. He just likes to teach the kids. Like what I heard earlier, that he had some... he was angry at Sully because Sully didn't train as hard as he thought he should, because I heard that Bruno Alves said that Sully actually was more talented than Cristiano Ronaldo was at his age. But Sully just... doesn't train as hard, he just thinks that this is okay, I'm good enough.
Yeah, I
don't know what's the thing now with Uyghur. They had some.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't think that's necessarily bad, him telling another player to train harder, and it's not. That's not in a sort of spiteful way, saying, "Oh, you're bad. if you trained harder, we'd be better. He's saying if you trained harder, you could probably be one of the best in the world. So it's more, he's looking out for him. Well,
that's what I think.
I don't really think that's a problem, him saying that. I think it's obviously we're not going to have much money with this financial fair play next season. So I think Bruno, is quite a good move to keep him just for another year. I don't know. I'd quite like to keep Barr as well, but I still think we need one more centre back, and I'd like that centre back to be better than Bruno Alves. So our strongest pairing would be Simon Kjaer and this new centre back, which hopefully, well, in an ideal world for me, would be Serdar Aziz. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be expensive, I think, and I don't know whether we could get him, and also Besiktas, and I think Galatasaray are also interested in him, so who knows what could happen there.
Yeah. Do you think there's any other centre back in Super League we could go after? Cheaper?
I think, the Gençlerbirliğ captain, Ahmet Çalık. Yeah, I think, he's quite young still. He's captain of his team. He's like Serdar Aziz, I haven't really heard many rumours about him leaving, so as opposed to Serdar Aziz, so it's probably quite unlikely, but I'd be happy to see him sign for Fenerbahçe.
Yeah, just that the president doesn't really like us, or Aziz Yildirim.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't want to sell for us.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit crazy, and I heard he's trying to get them. He wants Gençlerbirliğ to be a top 5 team next season, and I think he's got a bit smarter because their current manager, I think Ibrahim Üzülmez, is doing really well with them at the moment. We thought Gençlerbirliğ were going to be relegated before he took over, and now they're much higher. So I think if the president is smart, and he's shown he hasn't really been that smart many seasons, but if he keeps him, they could actually become a good side and if they make the right transfers. But yeah, I mean, I've got one last thing to ask you, and so tonight is the playoff final for the Super League between Adana Demirspor and Alanyaspor. So who do you want to be promoted?
Demirspor. They have quite good fans as well, but I'm not quite sure how good fans does Alanyaspor have. Aren't they still quite well supported?
Well, I've heard they're not really. I've heard they're actually sort of businessmen took them over and just kind of used money. Because obviously they were quite a small team. I think they got promoted to the second division not too long ago, and I think I'm not sure. I don't think they've got many fans really. So for me, I definitely want Adana Demirspor. I wouldn't mind so much seeing Alanyaspor because they're quite a new, unique side, and it'd kind of be interesting to see how well they do. But I'd like to see Adana Demirspor because I just think their fans deserve it after all this time.
Yeah, it's better that way. Alanyaspor can come later. If they have some financial backing, they will come later, eventually.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's all for today's episode. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
See you in the next episode.